From the Missouri-Kansas border in rural small-town America, this is The Last Scout Show, an Okie Joe LSR radio production. I am so glad you made your way here today. Thank you for having a sit and a listen here at The Last Scout Show. Boy, what have we got going on? Well, let's see. Facebook, Amazon, stocks going down, losing billions of dollars. Don't think it could be a backlash because all the underhanded stuff you're doing is selling out the American people is catching up with you, do you? I wouldn't worry about that. Anyway, we are free, but we can be more free once we do away with all the swamp, all the neocons, all the globalists. We need in America an American agenda. And there are people out there that want to make sure that it just goes down the hardest way that it can. Now, I know a lot of you have heard about this already. It's the buzzword from the BuzzFeed. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and use the BuzzFeed information. Yeah, I know, you don't have to tell me, but it's a good source to amp up what we're going to talk about today. Okay, this comes from BuzzFeed, and it was done on March 30th, 2018. Taking a drag from her cigarette, a Mexican immigration agent looked out toward a caravan of migrants that grew larger with each step that they took on the two-lane highway. When the agent, who covered her uniform with an orange and white shawl, learned that the Central American migrants headed her way were numbered more than 1,000, she took off for the restaurant across the street. "I'm going to have a relaxing Coke," she told BuzzFeed News. For 5 days now, hundreds of Central Americans, children, women, and men, most of them from Honduras, have boldly crossed immigration checkpoints, military bases, and police in a desperate, sometimes chaotic march towards the United States. Despite their being in Mexico without authorization, no one has made any effort to stop them. Now remember, this is a BuzzFeed article, so of course they are in their back pocket. I'm going to skip down a little bit because I got another article I'm going to jump to. About 80% of them are from Honduras. Many said that they were fleeing poverty, but also political unrest and violence that followed the swearing in of Honduran President Juan Orlando Hernandez after a highly contested election last year. The group often breaks into chants of "out with JOH." They also chant, "We aren't immigrants, we're international workers, and the people united will never be defeated." Well, they haven't made it to the border here in America yet now, have they? So the article goes on and on. It's just this the poor migrants that are making their way up from the Honduras, Central America, up through Mexico, catching trains, women, children, the whole 9 yards, men too. So, going over to another article that is a more recent article on the whole thing. It is still a BuzzFeed article, so you're still going to have that twist. It was posted yesterday on April 1st, and it reads, caravan organizers, keyword phrase right there, are blaming the U.S. for migrants as Trump lashes out. Okay, President Trump responded to a Fox News report on a caravan of Central American migrants approaching the U.S. border with a new attack on the Mexican government and immigrants inside the United States, even as the caravan organizers blame U.S. policy for their flight. Caravan organizers, catchphrase, caravan organizers. Many of the people in the group, which is led by a volunteer organization called Pueblos Sin Fronteras, or People Without Borders, are traveling to the U.S. through Mexico from Honduras to seek asylum, organizers told BuzzFeed News. Honduras currently has one of the highest murder rates in the world, when I bet they do as a country, but from what I've heard, London has taken over the murder capital over New York City now. Way to go, Mayor of London. You've really got that place in a grip, don't you? If the caravan bothers him, then it also bothers me that he supported people like Juan Orlando, who oppresses the people, destroys the economy of the country, and creates a humanitarian crisis. Okay, let's see. It bothers him. Someone that oppresses people. Like the Democratic Party and the left. Someone who destroys the economy. Like the Democrats and the political left. And the globalists. Wow. Man, where does this all sound familiar? And they want to come here so they can do it again? I'm not too sure about that. Anyway, to continue on, let's see, if this caravan bothers him, then it also bothers me that he's supported like Juan Orlando, who oppresses the people, destroys the economy of the country, and creates a humanitarian crisis. Well, let's see. Thousands upon thousands of Central Americans, along with Pakistanis, along with Afghanis. I mean, they're all out there. They're all hanging out down in Mexico waiting to make their push across the border. So basically what you've got going, and we know from Border Patrol reports that Middle Easterners have made their way up through Mexico and across the border. So now, I wonder how many are hanging there. I wonder how many are armed. I wonder how many are waiting for these thousands upon thousands of recruits from Central America to come up. Yeah, I said the word recruits. I mean, you've got a lot of men in that group, and those are fighting age men. And Mexico's allowing it to happen. Mexico with some of the strictest, most strictest immigration laws in the world. Heck, you and I can't even own property there because of it. You got to wonder. You really got to wonder. So, and continue on. The caravan has received widespread attention through reports from BuzzFeed News' Adolfo Flores as he travels with the group as it heads north through Mexico toward the border. About two-thirds of the roughly 1,200-person caravan plans to either seek asylum or cross the U.S. border undetected, and another third intend to stay in Mexico. Well, let's see, it was already 80 degrees in San Antonio, Texas over the weekend, so I'm sure that they're going to find this trek not quite so easy to get across that border, across that desert. In a series of tweets on Sunday morning, President Trump said he does not support reaching an agreement on DACA, called for Republicans to pass tough laws now, and threatened to leave the North American Free Trade Agreement. In his tweets, Trump referenced caravans coming and said Republicans must go to nuclear option to pass tough laws. Now, no more DACA deal. He also tweeted that Mexican authorities laughed at our dumb immigration laws and threatened to stop their cash cow, NAFTA, if they don't do more to stop immigrants from entering the U.S. through Mexico. Need wall, he added, also saying that he thinks these big flows of people are trying to take advantage of DACA. I don't think these people are trying to take advantage of DACA at all. I think what's going on is it is a globalist funded movement, and yeah, we're going to bring up Soros and his people again, because by God, you know that dirty dog SOB is behind just about everything that seems to be going wrong in this country, and in other countries, and in countries in Europe, along with Malaysia, and oh man, unbelievable. Unbelievable. I really wish the Hungarians would go ahead and grab his butt and throw him in prison where he needs to be, and let us have him for a trial. Trump announced last year that he would end the DACA program this March, but it remains in place due to federal court orders. Neither Trump nor Congress has done anything to provide a more permanently solution for Dreamers in the meantime, and talks to revive DACA even in part were put on hold last month. Well, yeah, because, hey, the Democratic leadership, Pelosi, Schumer, Feinstein, you know, all of them, there's some cash coming their way in their pockets through stuff that they tried to get for their states. And yeah, you know, the people that are involved underneath DACA that fall under, okay, yeah, I'm a DACA, they don't get that they are being used as political pawns. The Democratic Party has played them like the finest violin ever made in the world. Such a sweet tune. No riffs, no scratches, no chalk, fingernails on chalkboard kind of thing. No, not at all. They have been playing the Dakka group like a Stradivarius, like a fine master of the Stradivarius, but yet they don't see that. And of course, the people coming up from Central America, and I don't mean this to be disrespectful, but it is the honest to God's truth. They're not educated on world politics, shall we say. They don't see the games being played that we see here in America. They don't have the advantage of having the informational sources available, so they're being duped. I mean, heck, yeah, you take a carrot and put it out in front of a hungry rabbit, it's going to come eat. I mean, heck, even a horse, if it's hungry enough, even a horse will eat moldy, and I mean really moldy hay, because it's hungry. And that is the same thing that the Democrats have done with the Dakka people. They've held that carrot out there before them because they knew they'd go for it. And now here you've got all these people in Central America coming up because they're looking at the same carrot. The only problem they don't realize is they weren't given a carrot. They were treated like horses that were given real bad moldy hay to eat on, which can make them sick, which can kill them. But see, they don't realize that yet. They haven't, they just do not have the informational sources available to them to be aware of the situation that they're headed into. They don't realize that they're being pawns by Soros and all the globalists in the New World Order and all the crazy bastards that want to overthrow America. But that aside, I wonder what the response is going to be. And I'll be back with that right after this.
Aunt Jemima pancakes without her syrup is like the spring without the fall. There's only one thing worse in this universe. That's no Aunt Jemimas at all.
Aunt Jemimas without Aunt Jemima syrup?
That's ridiculous.
Every 30 minutes, another innocent person is killed due to a drunk driver.
My best friend.
My brother.
My poor grandchild.
My sister.
My father.
My husband.
My mom. My mommy.
Well, I've been afraid of changing, 'cause I've built my life around you.
Stop these tragedies before they happen. Don't drink and drive.
This is The Last Scout Show, and I am your host, The Last Scout, out here on the Missouri-Kansas border in small-town rural America, just taking a look at the world. And it is, is it a world to look at? Well, let's talk about, we're can carry it on, let's talk about the pending onslaught of Central America migrants that are headed for the U.S. What's America's response going to be? What is President Trump's response going to be? What is the individual American's response going to be? I mean, we're talking about Texas border, we're talking about New Mexico border, we're talking about Arizona border, and we're talking about the California border. Which one are they going to try to herd them through? I wouldn't try to make the crossing at Texas. I really wouldn't. Between Texans and their love for being free, independent Texans, I'm afraid you're going to get some response down there. I wouldn't, being down in the Big Bend, I wouldn't try to cross over there. It's too dangerous, too rocky, too mountainous, a lot of desert to get through. But it can be monitored by drones. It can be reacted to by a quick reactionary force. You do not think that these people on these borders are going to be watching. You really, but maybe that's part of the globalist plan. You know, it's something that Soros would always have up his sleeve. Yeah, let's get a violent confrontation going. Let's do that. I mean, man, this has got to be really good for the Coyote business right now. I mean, I bet Coyote Mart down there on the border and Juarez and all those other places, El Paso, you know, New Mexico, Arizona, probably some starting up a little office out in Yuma, Arizona right now. But this is going to be really great for Coyote business to try to get these people across the border. And President Trump wants to get that wall built. But you know what he has in the meantime? What the president has is the United States military in the meantime to defend that border. That is your wall, Mr. President, the United States military. Now, we know that, like in Texas, for instance, the National Guard's there, Texas Air National Guard, a bunch of doggone mad Texans. And then you've got the Texas State Guard, which is a military force that the Texas governor has authorization of, that has what's the word I'm looking for? Has no federal guidelines or jurisdiction over it. The Texas Guard totally belongs to the state of Texas, and under the auspices of the Texas governor at his discretion on how they want to be used. You can see that this is being pushed to be a conflict, to be an incident, to be something that, you know, the butterball boys and gals over in mainstream media can latch their teeth onto and lap up off the floor at Soros's feet. I mean, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. But watch real closely. Keep yourself informed about what is going on with this massive migration that's coming up from Central America. Because it's going to grow bigger as it comes along. It's going to get all jammed up at the border. There is going to have to be a show of force presence, just like we used to do in West Germany and the Czechoslovakia, East Germany border back in the day. There will have to be a show of force by the United States government on the border, all along the border, to show these people that America's not messing around, that President Trump's not going to stand it. He is going to protect and defend the people of the United States and the Constitution. Now, what happens then if we had this big conflict? I don't know. I don't think anybody can tell the future on that. But you can bet that the globalists, Soros and all of them, are really wanting to have this big confrontation on our southern border so they can lap up the headlines of, oh, look how cruel President Trump is, look how mean our military is, the Border Patrol, look at them. Yeah, they want all that. Because it's just this sick, really, really sick vision that they have of what the world's going to be. And the vision that they have for the world is sick, yes. But the plans and all that they do to try to make it happen is even sicker. It's even sicker. But it was definitely worth reporting on today. Definitely worth bringing to everybody's attention, and definitely worth giving small town rural America's view of it. This has been the Last Scout Show. I'm so glad you came in. Listen to what I had to say. It means a lot to me. I am not monetized. I do not want any money from anybody. All I want is a little bit of your time. A little bit of your time. I thank you for all the support. Also, you can catch me live over at We the People Patriot Soapbox 24/7 live stream on the YouTube channel. you go to my YouTube channel page, you will find a link for it over underneath. Look over to your right, down a little bit, and it'll say Last Scout's Choices. You will find We the People Patriot Soapbox 24/7 live stream. I am live there, time to time. Bunch of good people trying to bring American patriots back into the light. Remind Americans that they do have customs and that they do have traditions. Also, be sure and check out, quite frankly, if you really want some great political commentary and social commentary, quite frankly, that young lad from New York is definitely worth listening to. You'll find that link there too. And also, do not forget the premier lady on YouTube of investigations, Tracy Beans. You will also find her link on my page. So, America, take care. We will catch you next time. Thanks for listening in. This is The Last Scout. This has been The Last Scout Show, an Okie Joe LSR radio production from the Okie Joe Frontier Studios on the Missouri-Kansas border. Take care, and God bless.